Okay, expressions and formulas. We have right in front of us probably the most famous formula ever. Hard to say, I guess. E equals mc squared. We've got a whole bunch of other beautiful looking formulas on here. So here I have a nice quote from Galileo. Philosophy is written in that great book which ever lies before our eyes, I mean the universe, but we cannot understand it if we don't first learn the language and grasp the symbols in which it was written. So what he's referring to is the language of mathematics. So mathematics is a language that maybe you're fluent in, probably not yet. I wouldn't consider myself necessarily fluent, but it's something that you're gonna have to learn just like a language, just like German. I know you guys love your German class. But here we go. Let's start learning the language of math. An algebraic expression consists of numbers, variables, and operations. So this expression, it's pretty complicated looking, but that's what it is. It's not an equation. An equation would have equal sign. Notice there's no equals sign. So how do I evaluate this? That means find the value. Find the value, or another word would be calculate. Calculate, but without a calculator. Okay? How do I know which operation to do first? Let's get rid of this. Find the value. So from now on, when I say evaluate, I mean find the value. How do I know which operation to do first? Somebody had to come up with something that we have to follow by. And we can talk about this in class as we go on, where this order came from. Maybe you're familiar with this PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or maybe you have a better one. I'd love to hear it. Simplify expression inside parentheses first, brackets, or grouping symbols. Okay. So then we do exponents, that's E, multiply, divide from left to right, and add and subtract from left to right as well. So let's go ahead and try some together. So we have to do parentheses first. 3 plus 6 is 9. And then we'll just write down everything that's left. These brackets are still here, which they sort of turn into parentheses now. The brackets are only there because it looks kind of funny to have like double parentheses. I mean, it doesn't look that funny, but it's just, a little bit better than all those parentheses. So now I can really turn those brackets into parentheses and do the exponent first. 9 squared is 81. 9 times 9. Divided by 3 is 27, and then times 4. And I don't know 27 times 4 in my head, but I can do it like this. 7 times 4 is 28, because I said we're going to practice this without a calculator right now. Because the calculator, as we can see, can handle this extremely easily. I'm going to call this, for the rest of the class, I'm going to be calling this beast mode. TI-84 plus. I recommend getting something like this. It's going to make your life really easy, actually. So we put parenthesis, 3 plus 6. Look at how fast and easy beast mode can handle this problem. If I type it in correctly, bam, same thing. Beast mode knows the order of operations, but the calculator, didn't invent the order of operations. People had to program this thing. So do you trust people, or do you trust your calculator? Okay, next one. Had you do these in class, evaluate by hand. So a little bit easier here, but it's really tempting to do 3 plus 5 first, but we have to do multiplication first. PEMDAS. Multiplication is right there, left to right. So 10, well, this meaning left to right comes first. But here we can't just go left to right. So what's going to come next after we do the 10? Now this is where addition and subtraction, it looks like addition comes first, but when they're in the same problem, we should just go left to right in general. 3 plus 10 is 13, minus 1 is 12. However, you could have done 10 minus 1 is 9, and 3 plus 9 is still 12. So sometimes it doesn't really matter with addition. We'll say the order of addition doesn't matter. because subtraction is just really adding a negative number. Okay, let's say somebody said they arrived at 15. How is that possible? What do you think they did? 3 plus 5 is 8, times 2 is 16, minus 1 is 15. So they just went left to right. This is a really common mistake that we need to avoid. They just did 3 plus 5 and just kept going like this. So let's not do that. This time, evaluate with the calculator. Okay, so get out my beast mode. 2045, this is minus, parenthesis, 18, and there's this square button that I used before, x squared, plus 711. Beast mode is worth it for this class. 10, 10. Done. 1010. Okay, how did the calculator arrive at this answer? Well, it did exponents first, then it added to 711, because that's all in parentheses, and then the very last thing was actually the subtraction, 2045 minus whatever that was inside there. If we remove parentheses, would the answer be the same? What do you think? 2045 minus 18 squared plus 711. Well, what do we do first? 18 squared, which is what we did first anyway. I'm going to do that on my handheld calculator here so I don't have to pull up beast mode. Okay, now what would have happened? We would go left to right. Even though maybe you want to do the addition first, order of operations says go left to right. So I do 2045 minus 324, and I get 1721, and then I add 711, and I get 2432, which is completely different than what I had before. What if I did the addition first here? 324 plus 711. Okay, this part, what if I just threw in my own parentheses, which is not allowed? And then I did 2045 minus 1035. Look at that. It is 1010. So what's going on here? What is going on here? We sort of broke the rules when we removed the parentheses in the first place. The parentheses are definitely important in this original problem. We need them. We would not have arrived at the same answer. We had to sort of break two rules in order to get there, because I put these parentheses back in, which is what the original problem looked like. So, okay, let's move on. Okay, evaluate. Now it's just a bunch of letters. This is an expression again. And I'm going to tell you specifically when A is 12, B is 0.5. So we've got to plug those in. B is 0.5 squared, parentheses, 0.5 plus 12. Okay. Now, should we do this by hand? Sure. 12, that's just going to stay there. 0.5 squared would be 0.25, because you just do 5 times 5, 25. And then this is 12.5. Okay, decimals are fun, right? Now we do these two numbers together, 0.25 times 12.5. And oof, how do we do this? 12.5, 0.25. Do I have to line all this up? Can I just do like this? 25. Okay, how does it work with decimals? Do you remember? Let's just do it like this. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Then I have to move on to the next row. 2 times 5 is 10. Get rid of this and have a 1 there. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 2 times 1 is 2. Now I add all these up, and I have to put the decimals. There was 1 decimal here, 2 here. Maybe you do this differently. As long as you arrive the same way, it's fine. So now we start here and we go 1, 2, 3. This is going to be 3.125. And then the very last thing is going to be times 12. Oof, mister, please don't make us do this by hand. Please, please, please don't make us do this by hand. I'll do the last step with my beast mode calculator. And we end up with 37.5. So if you've got your beast, where did it go? Let's just see how easy this is. 12 times 0.5 squared. Just use the square button, parentheses, 0.5. You don't even have to put 0.5. It's not necessary. And then double parentheses. That's important. Bam, 37.5. Thank you, beast mode. You saved my life. Oh, another one. When 0, let's get rid of this. When a is 0, b is -7. So how do we do this? Let's see. Plug in 0 for a. -7 squared. Can I write it like this, mister? Can I do that? 0 plus... oops. That should say 0 minus... No, what's going on here? This is all messed up. Just showing you what not to do here. So our expression says b plus a. So b is -7, so that goes first, and then plus 0. Okay, and then close brackets. Now let's back to this. Mister, I cannot do it like that. -7 squared is not the same thing as -7 parentheses squared. This would be -49. This would be +49. Don't believe me? Ask beast mode. So what we need when we're plugging in to a formula or an expression is with the parentheses. But does any of this really even matter? Because look at this 0 at the end. So let's go through all the parentheses. -7 plus 0 is -7. Then we're going to multiply by 49. But then we're just going to multiply by 0. And 0 just wipes everything out. What a waste of time. Okay, one more. Evaluate this expression when y is 4, a is -2, b is -5. So here we go. Y cubed, so that's 4 cubed. 3ab, so 3 times a. Put parentheses in to show that you're plugging things in. Okay, so then we do sort of the top and bottom separately when you get an expression like this. 4 cubed is 64. Then we do 3 times -2 times -5 in any order, but it's going to be positive because a negative times a negative is a positive. So 5 times 2 is 10, times 3 is 30, plus 2. So 64 over 32 is exactly twice as much. Okay. That's it for lesson 1. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.